What is up everyone, Barricade here, and I'm bringing you guys a Gears of War discussion video. Okay, Gears of War 4 was announced, and we got to see what it was like. We got to see that it's different, that it's unique. It's not like the previous Gears of War games, and honestly, it doesn't even have the Gears of War title. It's just titled Gears 4. There's so many different things about this game already that just make me go crazy and just wonder what the heck is this game about? What is the type of gameplay it's going to have? Like, overall, what is this game going to be? Because it's not going to be a traditional Gears of War game. It is obviously not. It's going to be completely different. From what we saw, we noticed that the game was very dark, very eerie. We see these weird creatures. We saw these weird, pod things hanging on the walls, and we get to see this new enemy that's completely different than anything in the previous Gears of War games. And we get to feel something that we haven't felt in any of the Gears of War games since its first one. Fear. We haven't felt this type of eeriness, this type of scariness that the Gears of War, the original Gears of War had, and Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3 didn't have. And does this mean that this game is not going to be a traditional Gears of War game in the sense that it's not going to be like war style game, since it doesn't even have of war in the title? Is this game going to be what Cliff Bleszinski originally had in mind for the series? Which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, and back in 2006 when he showed the first original Gears of War game at E3, like 10 years ago, he was talking about how the game was supposed to be and what the game was about and what it's like. And the one thing that he said that was really really crazy to think about now when it comes to the Gears of War series is that he said that he wanted the game to be a combination of hardcore third-person cover-based shooter and survival horror. Survival horror. Just think about that for a second. That's something that none of the other Gears of War games really had ever since Gears 1. We never really got to feel like a true sense of survival horror. But yet in this new Gears of War game, I guess you can say, since it's not of war, we get to see these creatures, and it almost feels like it could be possibly a horror game. Imagine, just think about it for a second. I'm not saying this is what the game's going to be like, but this is the type of what I felt from the trailer. Imagine a Gears game where you're not fighting, the traditional soldier. You're fighting monsters, and you're fighting even more and more monsters. You're fighting these creatures that could come out and kill you like freaking Dead Space status or something. And imagine if this game, instead of having deaths in the traditional sense where you just get shot and you die, imagine if this game actually had like death scenes, like the way like Resident Evil has, like the way Dead Space has, the way like various other horror games have, where you see yourself get horribly mauled, your head ripped off, all crazy. Imagine if Gears had this type of feeling, this type of sense to it. That would just be so insane to see, because in the ending of this Gears 4 trailer, you see the monster mauling him. It bites his arm. He's trying to push it off, and it's not getting off him. And then at the very last second, you see it open its mouth, and you see all the tongues all crazy. It looks all vicious, and like it looks like it's about to rip his face off almost. Imagine if Gears had that. Imagine if if your teammate didn't help you. If you saw in the trailer, the monster jumps on his teammate and he immediately has to push it off her, and if he didn't, then she would die most likely. So imagine if there was like a part in the game where, let's say, your friend gets down like a normal way, where he gets knocked on the ground, and then this creature jumps on you. Then you're not going to be able to do anything. And then imagine seeing this creature like rip your freaking face off or rip your head off all crazy. Is this game going to be a survival horror game? That's just the one thing I wonder. Will it have that type of sense to it? And that's actually one reason why I'm really excited for this game, because it's changing things up, but in a good way. Not in a way that we would hate. Not in a way that is going to ruin the series. Not like, another Gears of War game that changed everything and was terrible. That, pretty sure you already know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to even say the name. But, imagine a Gears of War game, just overall, that is just eerie, scary. You're fighting these new creatures that we've never seen before, and then you could even possibly get like one-shotted by these monsters if they jump on you, rip your face off, or you get to see this crazy new sense of gore. That even though Gears of War was a very gory game, even 1 through 3, all Gears of War games have a huge sense of gore to them, but we get to see it in a more of a horror aspect. We get to see it more in a crazy, more like you would sit there and playing and it would happen and you'd just be like, oh my god, did that just happen? You're just sitting there looking at the screen like, holy crap, I just saw my my character get his freaking face ripped off or his freaking body torn in half or something crazy like that. That would just be so insane for this series to see, for this series to have, I mean. And overall, I'm just really excited for Gears 4. I'm really, really happy that they, you know, I honestly, if you've seen my previous videos, I really wanted it to be like a prequel and like explain more about the Gears lore, like why the Queen looks human and all that. But overall, even though I'm not getting what I really wanted, I'm not mad. I don't really care. I'm getting something different, something awesome for this series. And overall, I'm just really excited for Gears 4. Like, I just can't wait to play this game. Like, there's so many questions. Who is JD? Is he related to Marcus? Is he Marcus's son? Does the D possibly stand for Dominic? What if Marcus had, you know, this guy had this kid with Anya, and the reason why he's blonde is because Anya has blonde hair, and then he named them like John or something, and then they put the D as his middle name for Dominic because Dominic was like his brother, and he just wanted to honor him that way. Imagine if it was something crazy like that. That would be super cool. I'm not saying it is, but that's just like my little fan theory for it. And then who's this girl? She looks a lot like Sam. Is she Sam's daughter? Is she related to Sam in either way? Who did Sam have a kid with? Did she actually get with Barrett and a lot of fans wanted them to? You know, it's just so many crazy questions that I just really have for this series. And I'm really happy because it's basically gonna revive the whole lore aspect to the series. You know, I pretty much know almost everything about the Gears lore, but this is different. This is unique. This is something that I don't know anything about, and I'm extremely excited for the game. But anyways, guys, I'm running out of time here. If you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think about Gears 4. Are you guys excited for, you know, the different, you know, how different it is? Do you hate the fact that it's different? Do you want it to be more like a traditional Gears game? Leave me what you think in the comments below. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and take it easy.